Godwin, hi. You are fast today. Welcome on in. How are you? How's everything? You know, the usual questions. You good? That's good. I'm okay. I've known better days. I have known better days. It's weird. Stoney, hi. Welcome on in. Welcome back. Things are happening and it's taking most of my energy, which is really bad, but it's also really good. Well, you know, I mean, you don't know, but um, like the latest thing that sounds really bad. Uh, the last thing that happened is basically I have my injection for my brain disease tomorrow, and I forgot that it was tomorrow, so I had to go order the injection to the pharmacy before the stream because I forgot. I'm gonna die. Uh, no, it's fine. I'm like 1 day delayed, but it happens. But I'm still gonna get it by tomorrow morning for tomorrow night, so we're good. But shit happens. I have the fluffiest hair I've had in a while, specifically because last week was really flat, but like this week is floofs, floofs to the power of 10. It's kind of crazy. And we have some mic issue, I think. It seems like the the ducking doesn't work entirely as intended. And yes, I need to shave, but I have a meeting on Friday, so I'm waiting for Thursday to shave so that I have like a clean-ish thing on Friday, organizing the days. Like if I shave today, then on Friday it's gonna be bad. So, bad. And then I've been working on this thing on and off for like 15 to 20 minutes here and there, and it's just taking me so long. It's not taking me so long, it's taking me a lot of um, brain power, I would say, where basically the whole thing is a strategic business related presentation that I need to do on Friday. And that's for one of the clients that we have. And that's interesting, but it's kind of complicated. Not bad complicated, but it's, they won't like me to present the whole thing. So I need to do that. I need to do that. And I'm going to do that. And it's going to be fine. But god damn, it's a lot of teeny tiny things to put in place and creating visuals, and AI is helping for the writing, but for the visuals and the mockups and the things, that takes more time than expected. So yeah, but it's all fun. How are you? Have to be. How's everything? But yeah, other than that, we have double A, double S, which is pretty interesting. I'm guessing what I'm doing, saying that, is going to revert to something else. But yeah, that's a good thing. Nonetheless, yeah, exactly. Double A, 1S. We have had some news. Basically, an hour before the stream, 2 hours before the stream, the phone that we talked about 2 weeks ago, the CMF Buy Nothing Phone Pro 2 or Phone 2 Pro, whatever it's named, has been announced. The thing that we have disclosed exactly how it was supposed to be 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago has been officially released. So we knew that, which is pretty cool. Cat, hi, welcome on in. How's everything? And yeah, that's a fun thing. Um, we'll see. We'll see how it is. It seems to be thinner. I kind of saved some things that we just go check because it is useful. They have made like a comparison, which is what I kind of like. In terms of comparison, they have made this comparison on stage where they compare their current phone Pro 2 at 7.8 millimeters, which looks very, very thin for 7.8 compared to this that was like 8.2. So there is something in me that tells me that this is not like 8.2, or maybe they are calculating with the camera bump in it, which is potential. I don't know. Nonetheless, they are comparing phone 1 to phone 2, and I like that. That's a good thing. Uh, like, it's nice of them to say we are comparing ourselves to ourselves and not ourselves to an iPhone 10, for example, or something. Because usually companies are doing this. Samsung are saying like, well, yeah, compared to an iPhone, it's thinner, or it's flips, or it's these. So I like that. This is pretty good. The live stream was a mess. It's the least organized thing I have seen in years. It's crazy. The chat was the most racist it could be. That was top tier racism against Indian. I just, that's crazy. But also, the whole thing was like unorganized. The beginning was crazy. They had Carpe on stage taking pictures with the people that were in the seats right there, and they had to move them out of the stage because there was the countdown for the start on screen behind them, and no one wanted to move, or everyone wanted to take like a picture with Carpe, which is why. So that is crazy. Anyways, but they haven't announced this thing, which is pretty cool. It looks really good. I like it a lot, visually speaking. I don't know tech-wise. I haven't checked the specs entirely, but we just know that it's really neat. I'm guessing it's gonna be on here in French for some reason. And this is the new one, the new version that they have, which is pretty good as well. Same thing, I don't really understand the appeal for that scroll wheel to control the volume of your AirPods on the case rather than on the stem. That might be because I'm used to these that are like on the stem, and that makes more sense. But having the ability to like move forward, I think you have like forward and backward in the songs, and also like volume. I forgot, but yeah, it feels kind of weird to me to have that on the case and not on the buds. But that is just the details. Nonetheless, this thing, I don't want to pre-order this, but it looks pretty cool. Nonetheless, like this one is still the. Can I just flat? No, I can't. Okay, I see. That mint green is really good. I like it a lot. Wouldn't buy it nonetheless, but it's really cheap and it's their pro version. But yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. It's a nice phone. It is a nice phone. They still have a lot of issues with their design. This is really bad. Yeah, no one would have known that I like green. Yeah. Also, that would never happen. No one would read a newspaper that only has one page. Not read a newspaper with a phone. No, no. One single page for a newspaper? Really? I think holding their phone in the paper is an okay thing. Like you had your phone in your hand and then you just opened the thing because you needed to read something. That's an okay thing to do. But one page? One page? I mean, holding your phone in commercials is never how it's supposed to be. Like, no, I mean, to me, no one has a call like this. Like, I don't hold my phone at the bottom when I'm having a call because that basically cover the mic in a way that I don't like. But also, I don't have phone calls, so that doesn't help. Um, Same thing. Like, I don't hold my phone at the bottom of the phone. Like, that's more like a regular thing. Yes, 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 for sure. And that's more natural, I'd say. Um, Nonetheless, it's pretty cool. That is the thing we could recreate in Figma, obviously, because it's still me and it's really simple. The reason why I'm not really going to do it, the only thing that I might do is the screws. The screws are really, they are cute. Is because like it's a duplicate of the same thing 3 times, so it's not that interesting, at least from my point of view. Um, but personal takes and all that. They have software things that are interesting in CMF and nothing overall. But other than that, um, which cheeks? Pot also high. We'll call it. If you haven't seen, um, or if you haven't tested the thing that you asked, it basically looks like this. Uh, so that's the way that I'm doing presentation most of the time when I'm saying like, I need to talk about this button right there. I just have that. It's pretty simple. It's just a bit nauseating if you don't know how to use it much, which I understand. Like in the beginning, it's kind of annoying, but it's a really useful thing, though. That's what I would say. Look at that green, it's so good. Uh, But yeah, it looks industrial, which is really good. The white one looks really good as well, and I like what they have created. I like this a lot, like that stand thingy, mainly because I'm using something really similar, which is a power bank, and this one isn't, and I kind of need like a stand thingy. But yeah, all of that is really good. All of the ideas and the concept that they have, including like that. Can you believe it? These are additional lenses that you can have on your cameras. So if you want to have like another lens on top, I don't know exactly what they do, if they are filters, if they have other things, but they have built the concept of lens addition on their camera, which means that anyone that has like a 3D printer, anyone that wants to do accessories for your phone would have a very easier time to introduce this as a concept because it's made for the mounting point. However, still, as always, this is a good idea, but it's also a good idea for waste. There is a higher probability, I would say, for CMF to not really have the exact same camera mount next year or on the next iteration, and therefore these accessories are going to be kind of useless. Same thing that we said like last month with the Xiaomi back mount magnetic thing. You remember this thing? There is a high probability for the next phone concept that has the same thing to not have probably the same array of magnets, the same array of pins, the transfer rates or something, and therefore your objective that you're using is now useless. So think to keep it into consideration when you're buying things. Nonetheless, this is really cool. That's all I'm saying. Um, and go take a nap. Go take a nap. Okay. You can finish the report later, you know, for many reasons, because you don't sleep. So that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, like the comparison between the two, if you like color wise, you know, this one to me looks better in terms of the color, and this one is more pro, which makes sense. So I like that.
6ilbum is now following.
And now I can't hear that. That's crazy. Um, I'm guessing it's Bilbo. 6ilbum is kind of weird, so I think it's Bilbo M. Welcome in. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Thanks so much for the follow, as always. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. So yeah, you know, that is interesting. But you know, good. Stony, good job. Also, congrats on becoming like a broadcaster. I saw that earlier, and I said something in my head, but didn't out loud. I realized that. Congrats. So yeah, so this is pretty cool, and it's a pretty neat addition to the family of Nothing phones. I would say overall, like the black looks really nice and rugged. The white is the cleanest from my point of view. I have been more and more interested in white phones in the past few years. Like they look cleaner for some reason. That sounds really racist. I'm so sorry. And then obviously the greens are really good. Like this one is officially, I think it's green. I just forgot, green or black. And then my phone is blue, and my other phone is black. So that that happens. I don't understand the orange. I mean, I understand it in terms of no one would dare to say that it's from any other brand. Like they are the only one other than CAT, the CAT manufacturing company that are making like the yellow phones, yellow and black. But yeah, oh, you can't multitask things. CAT. That's the reason we need to have question one sent. Then when they reply question two, when they reply question three, and that's the. I'm sorry. It happens. It happens. But yeah, so that has been announced. That's all I'm saying about it. It's really cool. I like the design of it. I like the additional things, as I said, like the stands, the additional case, like the white bag is a screwed in case type of thing, which is really cool. That they have announced and have showcased somewhere around right here. That thing has been showcased. This is something that you add on top or replace the existing back of the phone by removing the screw, and you can do that with the screwdriver that is given with the box, with the phone, all that. We like it, nonetheless. Good stuff. So that has been announced and it's pretty nice. And this is orange, and it's a car ass. Therefore, there is a potential. I feel like doing the person silhouette in Figma would be the most interesting thing because it is very simple and it's really, really flat. So that's neat. We'll see. That might be a thing for tomorrow. But I saved it just in case. Just in case. Let me go back to the top because there is a ton of things that I have liked this weekend to actually go through. And, yeah. Yeah, no, I have brain power, which is different. There is a lot of orange, a lot of purple. I mean, I said that last year. Nope, I said that when we did White Panther overlay, so that was 2023. basically what happens with the color wheel. We know that I'm going to repeat myself, but we are in currently an orange thing because we were on a purple, so we go from purple to the opposite, which is orange, and then we will go from orange to green, from green to blue, from blue to purple, and we cycle through the entire thing. And there is like blue pink that was like the AI and Web3 of 2021. And so we are cycling through. So when we have like two colors or bicolors, it just shifts. And so currently it is orange. It's just coming back. If you wait 1 year or two, it's going to go back to green or pink or another thing on the other side of the color wheel, because just people get bored and designers are like, oh, I've been designing the same thing with the same color for the past 6 months. Let's change with something drastic. It's the opposite. It's always the same thing. So yeah, that happens. I wanted to showcase this one specifically, not to dunk on that person specifically, but to remind myself and you about things. That, thank you. Also, I really can't hear shit about like I think there is an issue in my mixing of the volumes today. So we'll see. We'll see. So this tweet states everyone is impressed with my bounces in my edits, but the secret thing is that I'm using only 2 keyframes to make them. And it is so easy. Then there is like engagement farming and whatever. But what it reminds me is that everyone is impressed with my bounces in my edits. And I'm seeing this. And it reminds me that people are impressed by anything that they don't understand. And to me, this is not impressive. This is just like how things should go. So there is no really interesting thing. But it's a bit of a reminder for myself to say, well, I know so much. I hate saying that, but that's the truth. And I don't share enough when I don't showcase enough. And therefore no one can say, oh, I'm so impressed by what you're doing. So, you know, reminder for everyone that if you want to have the perception, or people have the perception that you are pretty good and they are impressed by what you're doing, you need to share your content. And the bar is on the floor, like really on the floor. So, you know, but it's nice. It's how animation should be. So there is no dunking on that. It's mostly dunking on the people that are impressed by like regular things. This car popped. That video was pretty interesting as well. And the tweet that I liked specifically is an interesting take. This is Slate. And they are building like a consumer-centric, low-budget truck for the US, which is interesting. What I like about the tweet specifically is this. Slate is an anagram of Tesla, which is absolutely true. And it could be a rebrand of Tesla for lower markets to remove Elon Musk from the view of Tesla and don't have like the bad connotation about it. And that could be really cool. Gothic, hi, what about it? I don't think this is the truth. I don't think it is. But it could be. And if it is, that's a pretty impressive move. The only reason why I don't think it could be is because I think the US has like a requirement that states that if a company is a sub company of another one, they need to disclose that somewhere on the website. And if that was the case, it would have been disclosed already. But nonetheless, this fucking truck is pretty interesting and it looks cool and it's bulky and so on. So that is pretty interesting, but you know. Um, this one made me laugh as well. Someone last week said that PewDiePie being the top one streamer on Linux, it wasn't on their bingo card, and that's kind of true. But then this person said it's 2025 and PewDiePie is running Arch Linux with a customized hyperland and using the CLI. Meanwhile, Linus from LTC couldn't last a week on Pop OS. And I didn't open the comments and the replies, but to me there is a highly, highly different thing happening in between PewDiePie being experimenting and having the ability to just be like you know, a tester and a user, and they're just experimenting with it, and they have the time, and they also are rich enough to not have to work really. Fair point, fair point. And so the difference is like Linus has a job and need a job, and he needs features to work. So that's a thing. Yeah, but hi, welcome on in. Welcome back. How are you? How have you been? How was your day? How was the weekend? All that. I hope you're good. So that's my main take. It's the same thing that Linus said about the Light Phone 3. And I think Marcus MKBHD said the exact same thing, being like the Light Phone is really interesting, it's really good. But because it doesn't allow you to install like Gmail or Slack or anything that you would need to have for productive activities, you can't use it. That's the same thing for Arch Linux. I don't think anyone that needs to do productive work on the day-to-day communication in a media company would be able to do that and use that. Obviously, there is something that is browser-based, but nonetheless, like PewDiePie being like mainly just installing it to install it and test it out, just being a dev is interesting. But yes, he's still using it. Still using it, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. We have had a ton of other things. As I said, as always, I save things to showcase and improve some of my past statements. Pastel coming back. What can we see? More pastels. So pastels are really, really making a comeback. And the good thing about pastel and like clay texture, more earthy texture, the reason why we're going back to it is because it is more human and it is less AI generated. So the overall feel and the overall designer point of view, at least from what I can say and tell and see, is that most designers want to separate themselves from the AI generated content, and most companies also want to stand out in an AI generated content landscape. So they will go for something that is more organic, human, natural, earth based, and pastel is basically that. So that's an interesting thing to see. That's why the Ghibli theme for Tailwind was pretty good, you know. So that's a thing. And then what else happened? So that orange is pretty cool, you know. This one is really nice as well. We talked about it 3 weeks ago. This is the Oppo Find X8 Ultra, which has the heaviest zoom thing. MKBHD did a video that had like basically like a full zoom in on a screen across the room and still having the ability to read the content and see the illustration thing on the screen. But it's not just that, it's one of the flagship of Oppo right now, and it's neat. They are making better and better choices with Hasselblad I can never pronounce their fucking name. The people that are doing like the cameras, um, for the optimization on the system, and it's really good. The only thing that is kind of bad about Oppo for most people is that ColorOS, the UI of it, most people don't like it on the Android side of things because it is too iPhone-like, which I can understand, and it is one of the reasons why I like it. It's the same thing for Xiaomi. I love Xiaomi because it is iPhone-like and kind of works. So both of these companies are doing similar things, but this one is really cool. They have like a black gunmetal version of it, which is really good. So, there. Uh, this is just cute. There. That's it. There. Just popped in my feed. It's just cute. We like it. That's something that I need to do. I can't. I, I I need to figure out how to do animated SVGs and what specific tool I need to use to animate the Mom UI kit, um, in a way that makes sense. Because right now we don't have a good animated icon set, and this is kind of the next step, I would say. Um, so yeah, Chris, hi. Also, did you say higher earlier? I don't know. I have tried Lottie, but Lottie doesn't really export, at least to my point of view, doesn't really export like an SVG that is usable. I mean, it is usable, but it's mostly like the Lottify is it's much better than what Lottie Labs is giving us. But um, maybe I can go back in Lottie Labs US version. I know that they have like a official release. I need to check. Yes, 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 yes. And then that was fun. It's false, but yeah. Um, there, yeah, details. Not really that useful. This reminded me of what we had done a month ago. So in here, we have, I guess it's gonna be on my profile. Um, we had done this, and I don't know you, but to me, this looks really similar to this in terms of how it's built and the size and the radius and you know all that. So not saying that I made this thing and then used it, have a good look. But it's really cool. It's really cool again to see like more physicality and textures and things on UI. It is absolutely useless. I'm gonna remind everyone. This is bad. It's not useful. It doesn't help anyone and it doesn't change anything. It's just good looking, and it's only good looking right now because it's zoomed in on a shot to showcase very specific points. In a UI, this is like probably 24 pixel height and you wouldn't see shit. So, you know, take the time to build up like the components that make sense and not the components that are just currently cool looking, just to help. This one is a bit of a more interesting thing. They have like an ABC engagement farming post as always, but you have very classic and new style. The issue that I have with this is that most people would say that the new style is the best option until you realize that it's the least accessible option ever, because the logo of Adidas right here is okay, but also not placed in the right spot. Like it should be with the diagonal, or should be at the bottom right here or whatever, like something different. But also, as soon as the image in the background is more light, the text absolutely disappears because the blur is gonna, well, blur and give you like no contrast ratio. Same thing as here, like that contrast ratio is absolutely disappearing. As soon as the image here is like white, that white on white is not there anymore. It's the same here. The other thing is that the creation of this indentation is okay, but it's not the easiest to put in place. So the easiest option is B for implementation. The best option for accessibility potential is A, and the most cool looking is C. And most people are going to select C, sadly. The thing that I'm seeing here is that these spacing, really, really, come on, it's not that hard. It shouldn't be. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing to see as well in terms of knowing what is good and what isn't good when you're looking at design that have popped up on your feed. If you have some design on your feed, um, look for accessibility issues and how to potentially fix them. So basically the number or the price here is accessible because it has a black background and the text is on top. And therefore it's good. The bestseller here is already not readable, but it has the same thing. It is basically, if it had like the black background, it would be good, but it would disrupt the whole view. So having the bestseller something else, or maybe just an icon or another way of representing it would probably be better. But that's a, debatable point. Debatable point. Um, and no. So pastel and progressive blur will not necessarily work well together. The thing is, when you're using pastels and you're creating like a palette, a real palette, like let's say you have this and this is your pastel color for sand. Right? It's just, whatever. It works. You can just put that in. You're right. Hi, walk on in. I can't hear anything, so I haven't heard the thing. So basically, the at least from my point of view. Oh. God damn. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're using pastels or light colors or anything, it's just a matter of ensuring that the contrast ratio is good. That's about it. That's about it. So, you know, it's really simple. At the end of the day, it's really simple. But yeah, nonetheless. Jonesy, the plugin to create palettes is called Palettes. No, it's called Super Palette. Let me share you the link right there. If that's the one that you're talking about. It basically runs and creates color palettes. It is not free. Just know that. I mean, it was free. And it has like a free version, as far as I know. But it's not. You don't have everything, as far as I remember. Like there is a ton of things that are locked in terms of base, but yeah, it is really good. At least from my point of view, like if I wanted to have a new color palette based on my regular green, which is my 500 right now, but I need like a bit more darker colors, I can just take this and put it up, or I needed something a bit lighter, I can do that, which is to me really good. And then you can just generate whatever based on whatever. So if you are someone that likes Tailwind for some reason, like you like the Tailwind colors and how they are organized and set, you can do that. You can define how much the curve is, like you know that you want like a quartz curve, which means that your base is going to be really, really light and it has like a really exponential curve to have like very slight differentiation in the beginning. That could be a really good option. It's not that good, this specific curve, but like you can change a ton of the curves to have something a bit more interesting, and that's it's interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry for the bots just welcoming you back when you just arrived. Yeah, but yeah, this is really cool. I have a question. I just started learning UI UX design. In your opinion, is it worth it in 2025, considering that AI might enter the field? AI is already on the field. Currently, as far as I know, AI cannot replace human taste just yet. It will, for sure, but right now, no. So you can learn from it, having like a lot of experience on your own take. Kira, hi, welcome in. And it could work, like it could be a good thing. I do see, oh, I have talked about that before. I I think there is a very detrimental thing that is going to happen. Razor, hi, what's up? Um, which is entry level, whatever, dev, HR, designers, UX designers are going to be replaced with AI. And they are going to be replaced by people that are mid level to senior that have the knowledge and the ability to build things with the help of AI. But that means the juniors can't get the jobs and they can only rely on what the AI is creating without really knowing what they're doing. That's the main issue. And then when they achieve their like seniority status of mid-level senior, um, the only knowledge and experience that they have is on generated content, which means that the extra seniors, me being dead, we have most of the information and most of the knowledge, but we lost most of it. So it it's complicated. It's a very complicated section of the designer, like UX designer dev field right now, where the more experience you have, the more options or job options you have, and the least or the less experience you have, the less job option you have. But again, you need experience to get a job, and you need a job to get experience. So it's just the regular cycles. Nonetheless, there will be a point where people that start today in UI and UX are going to solely rely on AI to generate things. And if you learn stuff now, you are going to be above the rest because you have more knowledge than the people that just said, oh, I can just use AI to do the thing that I need. So learn about color theory, learn about composition, learn about fonts, learn about the history of why things happen, will basically put you above and potentially in your first job already be higher than a junior position. That would be my recommendation, and that goes for most of the things. So if you're going for UI UX, learn layouts, typography, composition, color theory all day will help a ton and ensure that you're like above the rest. So it's going to be harder. I'm not going to lie there. But if you have the knowledge and you are interested in it, it's going to be better. Yeah, that overall, that's about it. So going back to this, so these are pretty interesting. To me, the best option is going to be A, with a fixed spacing, because this is I said nothing. It's not much, to be honest. The change that it needs is just more spacing at the bottom to match what is here, and that's it. That's all it needs. That's all it needs. But um, I can't answer that. No, I can, but I'm kind of kidding. Um, my that's gonna sound so pretentious, but it's kind of true. My gut feeling is correct 80 to 90% of the time. My first draft for a logo for the latest client that I had, like I'm gonna go back there. I haven't showcased that yet. I had a client lately that needed like 2 logos and a bit of a color palette, something really quick. Um, they sent me an email about the project. My brain made something, and I read the 3 lines of text that was in that email. This was the thing that I created, and this is the thing that we went with at the end. I had like 50 different logo creations in the middle, but yeah. Julian, hi on YouTube. Welcome on in. What do you need help with, Framer? Tell me. You can't send link unless you come to Twitch if you want to send me like a very specific thing. But yeah, welcome on in. So my gut feeling most of the times is correct and is going to be the decision of the direction that we're going with later on. Usually, from experience with previous companies, what happened was I have a first ID. It's like I draft it, I sketch it on paper, I do it in Figma, whatever, like really quickly. I present it to the team. That was really French. I present it to the team, and one of the team members is saying, well, I don't know, it feels kind of weird. Um, and so I try something else. And I try something else. And after like 5 iterations, we figured that the first thing that I did was the right idea. And that happened so often that kind of boosted my ego too much at times, where I didn't go further than the uh, the gut feeling that I had. So, right, most of the time, I'm right with my intuition and gut feeling, and it is based on 20 years of design research and 20 years of design work. So it has like a background and it has like a catalog of data and database that I know. But I still do some research. Like there are still things that needs to happen for me to ensure that the first idea that I had, good job, is cat, good job. The first idea that I had is aligned with the current market, aligned with the client need, aligned with the direction they want to go to or go with, and that still needs to happen. But my gut feeling is usually dictating things unless it is a subject I don't have any prior knowledge about. So yeah, that's the thing. Like for example, um, the initial thing that I create is either coming from I've worked on something similar in the past, I've helped someone work on something similar in the past, or I have used something similar in the past and I kind of know what was my pain point in that dimension, and therefore I kind of know how to fix the current issue that is described. But yeah. Julian, you said after I got my website structure right, I don't know what to do and how to do it, especially building your website. So you have your design in Figma, I'm guessing, and you want to move it to Framer or Figma or whatever tools you have. Is that the current situation? But yeah, Chris, that's basically it. The gut feeling is there most of the time, but if you ask me for whatever app, like give me something weird, give me an app that doesn't really exist and that exists, something that could be created, but like that you just made on the spot. Let's see if it works. I will need to refill that soon. Just a fake concept, something that just could work, you know. And no, not a streaming service to it, Stony. No, no, no. Just a simple ID. Nonetheless, that has been good because it's kind of pastel, half accessible, but pastel. Pretty cool. Um, yes, I can hear you think. This is also like some sort of a new era of things. Um, what if you say like a streaming service with a shop or UI on mobile? It's basically any bitch ass shop that exists and any iteration of one of the streaming servers that already exist. So I already have the knowledge about that. Like it's not gonna take much, if that makes sense. Uh, so yeah, nonetheless, this class UI thingy with a lot of grains is a bit of a new era of things, and Swift UX seems to be a potential interesting thing for me. Basically, with having like Swift components pre-made, and I can just use them. So basically, the thing that we're already using in other platforms like Framer, for example, but having them like pre-built. It's interesting, but it's also not that good because at the end of the day, same thing as Tailwind. Once you have everyone use the exact same thing, you end up with everyone looking the same. So that, which I just showcased and wasn't on the right screen, just realized that is interesting, but also, you know, not that good nonetheless. Dang. Then there was this, which was really cool, like really cool cat illustration. I have reached the point where I don't know anymore. I don't know if this is real. I don't know if this is AI. I don't know if it has been created by something else. I know for a fact that this is not on paper. Like this is at least on an iPad or something to draw that. Like this is digital drawing for sure, based on how the font look, like the writing here. But that's all I know. And we've reached the point where so much is so good in the creation that I can't tell much of. I mean, most of the time I can't tell anymore. This is pretty real to me based on the fact that some of the lines are going in different directions. In an arc shape that makes way more sense. An AI would probably do something kind of flat across the whole thing, but that depends. But it looks really cool, and I like it a lot. And it's cat, but, you know, we like that. We like that. The other thing that happened that I saw earlier was this. I don't know what this is, but this seems to be like another brother again, and it looks nice. Uh, but I haven't clicked on that. I don't know what it will be. I don't know how good it would be. I don't know what it is. The bar at the top is good looking from my point of view, and the interface is interesting. And we'll see. Maybe that's something that would be pretty interesting. Maybe it's not. There is a lot of things in there that are not to my taste based on current AI usage, but it seems really potential of an AI-based browser. So similar to Dia, which we haven't tried yet, but you know, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. So I'm keeping an eye on that, and we'll see If it has potential, it has future. For now, we don't know. For now, we don't know. This pops up, and Chris, this is kind of for you as well. This is not the first time that I'm seeing like more and more node-based navigation tools, and this is one. I think there is another one a bit lower in my feed, in my liked feed, right there. So again, from what we've said 2 weeks ago now, the thing that you have created for building YouTube playlist with nodes is really good, and most of us really liked it. So you should keep going. You should release it. That would be a really good thing. I think a lot of people would appreciate it. So yeah, do it. But yeah, that interface is pretty interesting. It has like similar points than most of the node-based editors that we have seen, like navigation for the canvas, navigation for what you want to add in the view, and then navigating and moving things around. This is an interesting point of enabling, disabling things. I don't know what it does. I don't know how it works. I don't know what this is, but it's a node-based editor, so that's an interesting point to talk about. This was mostly for Denny because it looks amazing, but also it's for anyone that is here. This is a bit of a trend I've seen, but it's still in the half pastels on the edges, but it's kind of more saturated in the center. But we have seen more and more big ass name in the footer of anything, and it makes the footer more of an art piece than a useless footer like it is for most websites. So that's an interesting thing. I like the grain. Obviously, I like the transition that happens. That's a design choice that I like, and I would probably do the same. And the gradient is really cool. So yeah, showcasing what can be made is always a good idea. Going back to the Oppo phone, that's the other one that I was talking about. Morton, welcome on in. How are you? That's an interesting one. It has like this very square nodes, which I don't like compared to this one, which is more free-flowing nodes here, which I don't like either, but I like better. Like this is more organized. And then here, this is the showcase. Larkin, hi, what on it? Showcase of the Oppo micro interaction here. When you press the button for taking a picture, it curves the UI and it moves that button right there a tad. This is really impressive in terms of, again, implementation and detail-oriented like design, thinking about how things should behave when you're pressing a non-physical button outside of the phone and how the UI should react. So it's really nice. It's really nice. Yes, the top reminds me as well to Milanote. Milanote is really good, but it doesn't have the nodes. It does have some links options, but it's not like node-based builder, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is similar. Again, for probably a Canva with a node builder in design that I can't see right there, but it's an interesting way of showcasing like the font presets. It basically just showcase or show you like, oh yeah, this is a serif font with like a serif font, and then this is like minimalist with like enter and enter probably, and something that is more classical with probably like Montserrat and Lado as a combination of, fonts. And then you can create your own, which is an interesting view. It is simple, it works, and it's a nice way of processing and showcasing the visual options on the sidebar, or on a big ass sidebar here. Yeah. It's difficult. I tried to implement Spotify, but it's very difficult to implement. Yes, it is. And also performance is heavy. You need to optimize. Yes. Um, good. Good. Keep going. That's my point. That's my point. Um, that is interesting. I don't think it will survive. I think it's going to be the same thing as other app that are trying to replace Slack, and some teams are like adopting it, and then a bit later they, they don't. They stopped. But it's really interesting. Like GetDen is an interesting potential AI-based Slack interface that is a bit better and optimized, which is potentially good. Um, Basically, the AI integration inside of a team chat is pretty good, so I do like that. But I I doubt that's gonna survive again. Like this is mostly mostly the same thing as Threads, if you remember Threads, which I don't think most of you know. Threads. Does threads.com goes there? Oh god damn. Uh, uh. Where's this thing? If I can't find it, that's gonna be bad. Um, Supposedly there's supposed to be a secondary app that is called Threads that used to exist that has like a purple app icon that apparently doesn't really show up. This thing. But is it dead? Like, what the fuck happened? Um, yeah. Like Thread.com is now Thread.com, which is this, which is bad. That's titties. And yeah, I'm kind of sad. I'm sad. So maybe it's dead, and I was right again. But yeah, that might be a thing that happens. We'll see if Get Den is better, but whatever. Also, I laughed at this, so you need to laugh at this as well because I mean, it's kind of true. It's kind of what happened. I was younger and I didn't know, and yeah, I might have thought the same thing. I might have. I might have. Chris, by the way, because or talking about the YouTube coder that you can have, the simple option that you have would be to um, get the user to log in to the app with their own um, account, basically. So they would use and go through your credentials to like connect, but then they would use their quota on their own to create the playlist themselves. So that could, should, might help you to reduce like quotas and all that. Potentials. Potentials. Nonetheless, this is pretty interesting as well. I don't know if that really work, but basically it seems if you just type deepwiki.com slash instead of github.com slash, you would have like a bit of a better understanding of a repo that exists, probably only for public repo. And, you know, I doubt that it would work for private repo, but it's an interesting thing to see. I don't know if it works. I don't know if it's good. Again, not a dev, but Good thing. I know that there is like a what's the one if you replace GitHub with VS Code, right? You have the browser-based VS Code version. I think I forgot, but it's an interesting thing. It is an interesting thing for the people that are interested in phones. Again, these are the batteries of the Oppo folding phones, and that explain why most people are, or most phone manufacturers right now are currently, um, how can I say that, slimming up their phones and have the ability to, because this is thin, thin. This is the new tech of the uh, carbide, lithium carbide, lithium carbon. I forgot. LiTR batteries that are like new tech, thinner, more capacities, and so these two combines are like 5K, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's a good representation of why phones are getting slimmer right now. And then this happened again. This is popping back up often. Like this one specifically is reused often as references for creating a car that is more fun. But like, I guess these three are now either AI generated or based on the initials. But yeah, it looks nice. That is a good looking transition, but that's about it. We've had this thing, which is basically the same thing that I'm using for CAN for the bottom of the screen to have like a background blur, like progressive blur at the bottom, which I'm also using on the website. And it's really nice. It's a nice, simple transition thing. It's kind of sad that it's not applicable on the web as easy as here, but yeah. And yeah, that I'm gonna kill people. Apparently, there is a video that is running in the background somewhere that I haven't closed, probably around here. But yeah, that is not the reason why I'm saying please and thank you every time that I'm talking to an AI. But you know, why not? The other thing that I really like, I don't know if you've seen that, but Sam Altman has been saying that people saying please and thank you at the end of their messages is costing OpenAI millions. And for that reason, I'm gonna keep doing it just because, you know, it should be free. Also, that is pretty cool. I didn't think about it. I don't use like this. I have my own assistants, but yeah. Uh, yes, that reason you should. For that reason, you should. But this is a pretty cool way of saying like stop adding annoying and unnecessary emphasis on every single messages. Um, this is good for two reasons. If you are someone that is building something with AI and you are basically paying with the API and paying per tokens, ensuring that the response are only what needs to be done and only what needs to be said is going to be cheaper on your end. Anything else is going to be kind of weird. So, you know, that's a good little task to add to the memory of ChatGPT to potentially get like shorter chopper responses. And then this is pretty cool. This is one of the first example of Three.js that we need to build, like the first one of the first tasks of Bruno's course, or previous course, not the new one, is to create a galaxy in 3JS. And so this is kind of similar and it looks really cool. So, it's neat. We like it. We like it. I like this one, basically visuals, but that's about it. That is about it. And then this is very much me in terms of graphical stuff. So, you know, um, then this seems to be like a bit of a pattern. No pun intended. It is a pattern in terms of what it is visually, but it's also a pattern in terms of a lot of people are using these uh, visual representation that are some of the older ink traps and other things of Photoshop and Illustrator going back into design. So that's an interesting thing to know. What I do like about that is the fact that this, and that are the same word with more or less big dots in their ranges. And so you could make the assumption that at a certain point, the most abstract version could be taken for like, oh, this A right here could be the logo of, I mean, not A, this is the fucking M basically, but it could be the logo of the brand based on that. So that reminds me of what Walkman from Sony Ericsson used to have. That could be an interesting thing. But good to know. It's a pattern that is coming up a ton. I saved this one for one reason. I'm feeling one of you is going to be able to tell me what's the reason. I mean, there is more than one reason, but you know, go ahead. Tell me the reason. I like the differences in takes in the chat. Um, so there is no commas, there is no closing brackets here. Like these have to, like malware therapist is good. The quotes here is missing. The quotes here are missing. Here are missing as well. The alignment is okay. But the thing is, if you look closely, the whole thing is AI generated. That finger isn't real. And you don't have like that texture. That's a thing. But it is an interesting thing. Extra time, what going on? It is too perfect, yes. The concept of it is not bad, but it is not. There are a ton of things that are not necessary. As in, that row of icons is debatable. I feel like I would have something that is probably going to be wider, but like the kerning in between your lines, like 1, 2, and 3 don't have the same amount of spacing, but then 3, 4, and 5 have kind of the same amount of spacing, and then you don't have 6 for some reason. You know, and the icons are really AI generated. You can see that when you zoom in, like it's really bad. They are really bad. But yeah, nonetheless, it's an interesting concept, and if you want to take that concept as an inspiration for yours, please do so. But do it good. And I'm not a dev, and I had the ability to see the issues of the code on my own. And yeah, Winnick, yes, this is AI, 100%. 100% AI generated. So that's an interesting concept. Not good execution, but good concept. And you can take that as an inspiration. It's good. So going back to what I was saying earlier, these patterns coming back a ton. Um, Take here has been like creating a ton of patterns, and in SwiftUI specifically that I have in my feed that are really good. Also, obviously, it's in Japanese, and I do like it because I can learn. I can't read much, but I can kind of get familiarized with the words that they are using um, like in Japanese, like the end phrase of Benkyou ni narimasu is very easy to read for me because that's what I'm doing every day. Benkyou means to practice or to learn, and ni narimasu is basically to starting to learn or to the action or activity of learning. So Benkyou ni narimasu is pretty simple. Hi Porter, hi, welcome back. So that's an interesting thing. Same thing. This is probably AI again, but interesting nonetheless. We do like it in terms of color scheme and pastel-ish. This is going back to what I've been doing for the past few months of having like a lot of stickers everywhere, which is pretty interesting. It is nice. It is nice. It's just good looking. That's all it is. That is all it is. We've had like a ton of things. The Powell had a pretty good take on this one, which I agree and disagree at the same time, but I kind of agree. Figma is a waste of time, which is something that I've never said, but I could be able to say at some point, meaning that I'm like working on another tool and being like more productive and efficient on another tool than in Figma, which could happen. But that's a thing. But basically, half an hour of layout exploration in Figma is equal like a headache-free Framer session, which is really true. When you go through your entire options in Figma on paper, wherever first, and then you select the one that you want, and you put that inside of Framer, whichever app you're using, you're going to be more efficient and kind of faster at the end of the day. So I agree. Again, for Can, I haven't really used Figma that much. I basically just winged it inside of Xcode directly, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So that's the thing. Yes, Figma does give student a free option, but it is the same tactic that Adobe used when I was in school. It is the same tactic as Apple in the US, where they were providing Apple computers for schools. And because Apple computers had some sort of partnership with Adobe, you had Adobe stuff on Apple computers. It was easier, and therefore, because the design tools were on Apple computers or Macintosh at that time, designers were using Macs, and that's why we are most of us designers are currently using Macs. It's not because it's better, it's because we have been formatted to. So Figma gives you a free ride because you are a student, in hopes that when you graduate or when you enter a company, they can capitalize on the fact that you know that tool and that tool only, and now you rely on it and you can't do anything anywhere else. So I like it because it's free, but I don't like it because it is bad. But Eh, it's a business model. I get it. I fully get it. I would do the same if I had like a tool. But yeah, just know about it. Just know about it. Nonetheless, this is also really cool. This is Blender with Geometry Node, and they have created a bowl of rice. At the end, it kind of explode, but when it drops, if you don't pay attention to the shake, it is really impressive that Blender has the ability to create this and be so good. There is like a ton of things about rice in Blender, which I like a lot. I like rice. I like Blender. So yeah, going back to Take that is creating these things. Um, Same concept, like splatters and things. So a bit more of Splatoon vibes. But it's interesting. It seems to be really efficient when it comes to the whole code that is necessary. And I don't know if this is like everything. I doubt it, but we never know. We never know. It looks really nice. It looks really nice. Nonetheless, moving on. This one has been interesting to me. It's a new take on the AI is currently thinking system. Instead of having like the dot 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 and the regular thing that they have, like the shiny thinking in the center, to just have like a glass element that flips and turns and think. And I like the concept, but I don't know if it's practical. I think it's more distracting than anything. Cybersect, hi, welcome back. How are you? How was the weekend? But it's good looking. That's all I'm gonna say. That is all I'm gonna say. Um, and then we've had this one, which was really impressive. The whole article, the whole visualization on the side is the representation of the data that they talk about in the article, in metrics, in data visualization throughout the whole article, which is something that a lot of articles about data visualization have seen and have done in the past, but it is well made. And again, I don't know what it's talking about. I haven't really read the content that is in there, but it's really good looking and it's a nice concept, and we have seen that in the past. It is right here if you want to have a look yourself, right about there. It's a nice representation, good explanation, and yeah, you know, good stuff. I think that overall it's a good stuff. Nonetheless, data representation is really good most of the time, so or a good thing to add to your website. I kept this one for one simple reason. I don't know if this is visible on stream. I have a lot of doubts. So, if you look closely, the background has a bit of a texture and a pattern, which is way more visible when I'm zoomed in. This is a pattern that I've been seeing more and more. It's a pattern that we used to have. Khalil, hi, welcome back. How are you? How was the weekend? How's everything? How's, the usual. So that's a pattern that is coming back. And this is a pattern that we used to have on banners and backgrounds of HTML3. So when I was in school and HTML5 was coming out, um, this is the thing that I used to do before. So these patterns, these hash lines, very simple, very subtle, paper textures, is seemingly coming back. So that's interesting. And as always, design is a cycle. So if you've been here before, going back to the question about is it a good idea to learn UX UI right now, knowing that AI is going to take over at some point, if you know the cycles and how cyclic design is, you will have the ability to just be ahead because you know when we are in the cycle and what is going to happen next based on previous cycles. So that's interesting. That's it. The rest of the button is okay. Pattern in the background is the most important thing. Going back to the thing that I was talking about earlier, these patterns interesting as well, and that's like data visualization type of thing. It's interesting. I don't know what it is, but it's interesting. And then we had this, which is the pretty interesting transition for an onboarding to flip your page. So that's interesting. That's good to have. Doesn't mean it's gonna be good of an app after, but just looking at the onboarding, this is impressive, and people will talk about it. So that's a good thing. That's a meme for the devs. I'm thinking about you when I'm not live, and I know you're here. So thing. I'm pretty good, girl. I'm tired and drained, and I have to do a lot of things, and I have a presentation to do on Friday. It's annoying, but it's gonna be fine. Other than that, everything is good. Everything is good. This one was really cool as well in terms of pastel backgrounds. Again, with a bit more brightness, vibrancy on top, you know. But it's a nice, for once, verified badge that doesn't use the exact same amount of points. It seems to have 4 to 6 more points than the usual verified badge, and I liked it for that reason and that reason only. Nothing else. It's cool, but that's it. I saw that earlier, and that is crazy. And then I laughed a lot at dance shop. Like right after that, this one, because they were just on a. All right, just a ladder, just a ladder, and faking being on the horse. Okay, nothing else. All right, impressive, impressive CGs, impressive CGI. Going back to the rice that I was talking about earlier. And the reason why I like this one specifically is because of what we are seeing right here. The light coming from the inside of the rice ball is the subsurface scattering. This is a word that I was looking for 2 months ago on stream. We talked about it, and I was saying the surface has something, and I blanked and I forgot. And when I saw that again 3 days ago, it popped back in my head. So this is like the subscatter or subsurface scattering of light, which in the context that we had 2 months ago, I was talking about buttons that have like a color, and the shadow that is ported to the surface has that color as well. So the example that we had is if you have like a button right here and it's just something that is red, the probability of your shadow to be like pure black, let's do that, very big, like right there. This doesn't really look like a good shadow option, but if you get this pure red and you make it like a bit more transparent, it is more of a natural transition of the shadow cast, a shadow that is colored by the color, so that's more natural. And if you want something that is even more accurate to what would happen, you would just make it like a tad bit darker, so it has a bit of a tint of red to hint that yes, that element is red, that makes sense. And therefore the subsurface draw of the light and the ray tracing basically of that button, of that element, is creating a shadow that is matching the color. So this now, which again is pretty cool, because we know that we can have in the, I'm using can, I don't know if I can do that. Let's say I'm using tomato for this because that's going to be a good option. I'm going to use tomato 9 right here. If I'm using the same thing, I'm going to use tomato transparency for this. And I'm going to use tomato 7 or tomato 6 because we have that in the work, and this is in variables inside of Figma. We can then change one single option in the whole system and get the entire thing changed. So for now, if I just use my accent, like accent color 9, which is what we used here, and accent color alpha 6 right there, right? That's the base thing. If that whole frame is not using the regular, but is using my accent color violets, it's going to change the shadow as well. So with variables, same thing for the code, but with variable inside of Figma, you can have your subscatter, your subsurface scattering of your light be appropriated to your button colors, to your main theme colors across the entire file, and then just, just working. So that's a good thing coming from a bowl of rice. Subsurface. Subsurface scattered, which is really good. Which is really good, which is the same thing as this button thingy when it's hovered, not the highlight here. And I think that's most of it. I think that was Friday likes. I talked about that on Discord, and we talked about it last week, I think. That dual step premium is optional. It's really good. It works. It's an option. I just hate it. I feel like it's not practical in terms of how a user would have that happen. So it seems like counterintuitive to have a toggle that looks like a 1-1 and it's a 1-2. And then inside of the 2 you have 1-1. So you basically have the ability to do like 3 clicks in total to change the prices. That's debatable. But that depends. It could work in some situations. I don't know. What do you mean so much design perspective? Like, I mean, basically the thing is you're either in the free or in the premium. The thing is, like solo or team is removing, I think. Like that's the thing. You have free, solo, and teams. Like that's usually what happens. Or sorry, free, teams, and solo, because teams is going to be more expensive. So teams is going to be in the center. But the initial thing that was taken was the annual and monthly switch, which is needed on top. But if you have like 3 options of free, solo, and teams, you would have 3 options displayed and not just 1.5. Like it feels weird. So from my point of view, like this is okay, but it's, yeah, Like I think this is just going to be distracting from a user perspective. They are not used to this, and I'm not saying that it's not a I'm not saying that it's a bad idea or something that would never work. I think it's just potentially distracting for a user to end up on something and say, "Oh, I don't know what happened." Like there is a new toggle that just popped in, which you know, um, yeah, that's an option. I would give you something, Stony, with I know it's not practical, but if you added like spaces to align all of these, just spaces, to just make the thing easier to read, that could be a good option. But I mean, it works. It works. No issues there. No issues there. Um, yeah, I think it's not necessarily what the users would have or would be used to, and therefore there would be like a bit of a what happened type of maybe a 3 seconds straddlement, but that's about it. Like after that, it's kind of good. Um, and then yeah, obviously, you know. Um, and then we talked about it on Friday. So good. We've made and took a look at everything. Yeah, there is like a ton of things that have been popping up, and there is again some pastel type. I call that pastel still, of design that is really, really much more prevalent than last month. So that um, is interesting. But yeah, yeah. Again, most of the thing that I'm seeing right now is I need to fight for, is it AI created? Is it not? Is it weird? Is it not weird? How does it work? Whatever. There has been like so much thing that I'm seeing that I'm like, I don't know. So, you know, complicated. It's complicated. Uh, but yeah. Also, this one made no sense. Um, at all. At all. If, if, if it happened, he would be looking the other way because, like, he's trying to look at her ass when basically they cross paths. So therefore, uh, you know, looking the other way. Everything, every time I'm seeing like an AI generated thing, something is missing. Everything I'm seeing like an ad, something is missing, and it's pretty impressive. Again, for me to see said things. Also, I kind of want to see something and do something really quick. Let me find an ad on this feed. We had one earlier, but it's not really one that I care about. That, for example, that's a great experience and a great representation of what I'm doing. I'm seeing this. This is an investment platform. It's in French. And therefore, what I'm doing is I'm blocking these because they are creating ads in French, and I don't want to see that. And I'm saying block, and Twitter is like, you can remove all ads with premium. And I'm like, no, I don't give a shit about the ads. I just don't want to see French. That's it. It's just because they are French, not because it's an ad. And that happens on A lot of other posts that I'm just blocking because they are French, not because they are creating an ad. And yeah, it happens like so much that I, because it pisses me off to have like this model pop in every time. I sometimes take the time to do that, like go in, go there, block them from their account, and then go back on the feed, and they have disappeared. Um, so because I'm blocking any or most of the French-based ad providers on Twitter, I'm getting most of the ads that are making sense to me, and it's good. And it's good. But you know, things, things. Nonetheless, details. I think we're good. I think we're good. But yeah, that was the review. How long did that take me? Too long? Yes. Almost 2 hours. God damn. God damn. 2 hours of reviews on on a learning day? That makes no sense. Stony, you said yet that you needed something. What do you need? I mean, you said you needed something for the main domain. Are you saying that you need something for the landing page? That's what you're saying? I guess. I think. Probably. Right? Probably. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. There is like a tool that I wanted to try, but you're doing the rewrite and you need to have at least a base foundation. I don't know what you're talking about. Having a base foundation doesn't mean shit to me. I need to refill my water bottle, so give me a second.
It's muscle time!
I am gonna pee so much. Oh shit, I didn't hear that. Oh. Did it not change screen? It didn't change screen. God damn it. I'm not doing them again. You see me do them blurred. Yes. I just don't know what and why and how. I don't know what you're talking about again. What specific page are you trying to do? Rewrite of what? Okay. Rewrite of what? What do you need? And yeah. I don't think that's a full answer because that's called a landing page. That's the full answer. Like if the goal is to do the rewrite of the landing page, then that's what needs to be said. I'm doing the rewrite of the landing page. And right now we just have this. You know. Um, so you need more data, basically, right? You need a real page. Interesting. And I have questions. Um, and then yeah, you already have that. So I'm gonna say that again. If you need docs, that's the docs. Like this is gonna be the easiest way for you to just go on Tailwind CSS, clone the page, and then use that as your base. To me, as of right now, this is the easiest thing to do because it contains everything that you need in terms of blocks, and it's built with Tailwind, and it's the docs, so it's made for documentation. Like that's it. Also, this doesn't match anything else, or didn't match anything else before. Like right now it kind of does. Like they have the same design language on both sides, but it's still like before that update of 4.0, it didn't really have any impact. So, you know, nonetheless, that is going to be the easiest way for you to get like a layout base for your documentation if you need documentation. The download is weird. Like I get it. The issue that I have is why do I have so many options? Maybe you're still working on it and that's the reason. But like, wouldn't it be better from your point of view to have Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, or Android, iOS, whichever order you want? But if I click on Windows, I'm downloading the three things. If I'm clicking on Mac, I'm downloading three things that are related or needed in one single download point rather than having to download three things differently. I don't know if that's how things work, but at least for me, I guess, you know, that would make more sense. I'm also thinking that because I'm currently on the Mac, I'm seeing the Mac options, and if I was on a Windows computer, I would see the Windows options. Guessing. I don't know why there is a fucking Android here, but you know, yeah, that's the thing. Good. Did you send me a document, Heroin? You could have. You could have sent me the doc so that I can check the doc. Kidding. So basically, Estonia, what you're saying is you kind of need the landing page to be rewritten, and you need the structure and the content of the landing page done. That's what you're saying? Yeah. I mean, you need to book something. You need to book something. That's a good point. That is a good point. I mean, I can't deny. I can't deny that. We have the release of the Figma Bootcamp 5 on Wednesday, and we have all the other ones that are popping out. You can see that they are already here. 5 is the components basics, how to use components, make components, will work with them, And then 6 is prototyping. Developer collabs, which is the only one when I'm making the biggest face I could for obvious reasons. And then we have the roles at the end on episode 8, which is pretty cool so far. But yeah, that's I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. But yeah, book a meeting when you have the time, want to take the time all day. We have the docs here. Yeah, you see, it's the same shit. Like I'm not saying like this and this is the exact same concept, right? That and that is the same thing. It's a sidebar and a doc. And this is a sidebar and a doc. That's what I'm saying. So if you currently need direction into creating the documentation page, use a sidebar and a doc. Meaning that for you specifically, a sidebar and a doc means, if it loads, I think I clicked too fast. I clicked way too fast. A sidebar and a doc for you is this. So you already have the sidebar and you already have the page with the doc. You just created a page for the terms of services and that's about it. The only thing that I'm saying from my point of view here is that the docs need specifically for you and your power users user base need blocks like this, like the code blocks and the task blocks if there is like terminal related commands that needs to be pressed or ran used and that's it. It's basically the exact same thing. We only right now miss the code block as far as I know, and we do have a code snippet inside of the Mom UI kit, but it's not, I mean, I doubt that this is what you want to do in a way that makes sense. So debatable. But yeah, that's basically it. Like having that next to the command that needs to happen is the best option. And it is, again, the same, at least from my point of view, it is the exact same thing as anything else on the platform so far. So that's why I'm saying that you don't have, at least for the docs, you don't need meat for anything. It is the initial empty state like this, which has the ability to retract and contract, and the sidebar potentially that's on you. You decide if you want something to be contracted. And then the content that needs to go there, that's a you thing. I don't know. The documentation is a you thing with your .md files. Potentially, I don't know. Per section, but that's it. Like to me, that's what it is. The initial sub-level that we had on the navigation that we removed could have been a good option, which is very much what we have here. But at the end of the day, I don't know. But that's the reason. That's why I'm saying it is what you need. You just need this. You need that central block with these side-by-side options. That's it. And the fact that it matched the rest, I mean, I doubt that you would go for something that is fully different. And again, if you have used the system from the beginning, you should be good. So that, at least for the documentation, I don't think you need me. That's it. You could make that the code snippets, that simple. For the landing page, though, yes, I agree with that. there is probably a need for you to, or for me to do something about the landing page a bit in a better way, to give you and to give the users that are coming to the page more details about what is inside. Right now, this is just a coming soon page because we didn't have anything. But now that we have something that is coming soon, I hope, yeah, I agree. So, that's so many. That's so many duplications. God damn it. Uh, if we go on, I guess SAS is going to be the easiest one to get us a landing page that works as a base. Have a good luck. That's weird, but I get it. Take care of yourself, Kyle. I'll see you soon. God damn. God damn. That's good. That is pretty good. I do like this concept of giving the user the ability to get like computer-based things, NAS-based things, hosted-based things like a Docker container. I don't know if you can do that. You might want to do that later, but I like the concept of this. I don't like the execution. Again, same thing as earlier. This is really bad, but I like the concept. And then here, that's bad. If you're starting and you just have Windows, Mac, and Linux, and you just have one download, like one download for macOS, one download for Windows, and one download for Linux, and not like all of that, like you just have the generic Linux thing, I wouldn't have multiple pages. Like the only reason why they have multiple pages is because like Linux has so many options, so many being like more than 3. I would just have cards the way that you have done it already. Like that download page is better if it had Mac, Windows, Linux, Android. You know, that would be good. Yeah, but that's the thing that could happen. Like the Linux version that has multiple versions, that's really good because that we know, like, I use Arch by the way, you know, like that. The on click, like if I'm clicking on this, instead of downloading if I'm on Linux, it could open like a drawer that says which distributor you use, rather than, you know, having all of them listed. So if you just had Linux, Windows, Mac OS, mobile, and then on Linux, if you click on it, there is like a sub menu that just says which distributor you use, and then you select your distribs, and that makes sense. If you click on Windows, you download the thing that are all related to Windows. If you click on Mac OS, whatever. If you click on mobile, you have the option to get like, oh, do you want like the iOS version or the Android version? Thing is, as far as I know, your mobile version isn't a mobile version. It's basically like a web page that you can have on your home screen, right? So, with that in mind, you know, yeah, for Android, but I don't know if you have a real hosted on server on the App Store. Uh, I mean, you're good. Just know that you're good. The committing to the Google Play Store is $25. That's good. If you want the iOS app to exist, it's going to be $100 per year. And a Mac. And a Mac. I know, I know. But yeah, not for now. Not for now. I agree. Nonetheless, back here. So, yeah, I would say I'm going to go back here. What is our preview? That could work as a, yeah, it's a $25 once for Google, which is really good. Like I really wish Apple was listening. Um, I mean, I'm saying it's really good because it is purple. That's it. That's it. Um, yeah, that's the good thing with Google specifically as well, because you need to get 14 users for, or 12 users for 14 days, or 14 users for 12 days. I forgot in which order it is. But in order to unlock the ability to put it on the Play Store. So yeah, the soonest you do it, the better it is. And if you have like multiple Google accounts that you can like ask to be in the beta testing phase as soon as you can, the better it would be for you to be able to unlock that on Android and being able to have it on the store. The difference between Android and iOS for apps, at least for me, it was Android took 14 days in total from the time that I published my first version to be available on the store, compared to iOS, which took 3 days. You know, yeah, but like if you have the ability to get like most of these people to just download the app, the one that are using the test account right now, you just make a banner at the top that says, please join the beta testing session with your Android phone, whatever. That would be good. Would be good. Yeah, I know. And I have one phone, so I can put it on only one phone. I can put it on one of my Android phones to give you like a one more testers. Yes, 100%. I am. That is the plan. That is the plan. This one was interesting, but not the best. I liked it because it looks good, but it doesn't have enough content. This one is interesting as well. It's premium. It is a fair trade. You did it for me. I appreciate it, and I'm gonna do it for you too. You know. This is better. This is better. To me, this is a bit better. It's a bit too current in terms of design style, and it doesn't really match the thing that we have. But in terms of layout, it's gonna much more work better. That was all over the place. Work much better. That's the order. I like that. I like that. It's pretty cool. It's purple as a base, so that should give us what we need. And I'm gonna just duplicate it here to have it, and then open another one to check. And everything is moving all over the place, which is crazy. The SaaS website UI kit from Framer is really good if you want to transfer that to Framer, but that's not your case, obviously. So, yeah. I'm really looking to have the least amount of work to do, That's the point for this landing page, just because, But most of it is going to be really similar. Like the goal is mainly going to be taking one of the templates that we can find that is good enough, and then applying the styles that we have in the app directly to it. So something like the big one I saw a second ago. Where the fuck you at? It just disappeared. It's just not there anymore. God damn, it was right in front of my face, and now it's not there. How did you disappear so fast? That makes no sense. Sorry, I lost a 4UI kit that was like in front of me. I mean, that's not the one that I had in mind, but that's another one. I don't like Jellyfin's version, but fine. That's a massive one, though. That's what she said. That's a more boring option, but it matches. It matches, which is the issue. I don't like it. I don't like it, but it has like more options like these potentials. Like if you want like multiple use cases, could be an option. But that really looks like shit though. I mean, no. Yeah, Plex is much better, design-wise. Design-wise, much better. Jellyfin is just trash. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is like a 2011 design. With the 2013 rebrand of the illustration that are coming from InVision. Like I've used these, so I know where they're coming from, and nothing has changed since then. It's just crazy. These are the initial material design one icons. That is crazy. That's crazy. You know, I know. But it looks like shit, though. I think this is too long, first of all. I think it has way too much content, and it doesn't really give you what you want to have in terms of information. Like I mean, you know that you can watch, you can explore, you can do things, but it's not necessarily what you want to know on the landing page. I mean, I do like it, but that's also because, you know, designer. And this might be a better option because it's going to be as simple in a way, where you hear and you're like, just do that. You hear and you're like, this is the base. You would have like a screenshot or something that showcase what it is, like how the servers work, and potentially the features that you want to have in the pipe, and then some previews of details of the app. And I don't think the rest is necessary, but potentially something about like being transparent is a good option. Good option. Testimonials is really useful most of the time, and then if you have a Discord community, let's do that, but I don't think you do. And that's about it. Like the product news doesn't need to exist, and the footer doesn't need to exist either. So it's basically going to, I mean, from my point of view, these three things are going to be kind of moved out, and you just end up with potential transparency things of you own your data, whatever, and then the features that you have, and probably a screenshot. Like it's really that simple. So that's to my point, better, but debatable. You know, you have a Discord server, but you don't have like a You don't have that. You don't have the ATEM server for the tool itself with access to the tool, like that. It could be a good thing as well. Like, I need to be here for this. Discord is currently dying. If you haven't followed the entirety of the internet for the past like 3 days, a lot of people have been saying that Discord is basically dead, and mainly because they are going officially to go into an IPO, and therefore they are going to expand to be publicly owned, kinda, so people and stakeholders can have like more say in what the business does, but also that incentivize them to get like more revenue in. And because it's currently not profitable, there will be a lot of things to make sure that the tool is going to be paid to use, probably. So Discord is probably going to die. Guild is going to replace, or something else is going to replace, probably at some point soon. I don't know when. Nonetheless, if you wanted to have some sort of a heavy involved power user community based for your tool that combines community and documentation, that could be a very interesting thing. You could have your Discord. I'm going to use Discord as an example because this is pretty good. With the server forum section, like something that Salma is doing pretty well, where you are in the tech general section or the tech help section here, that has like basically discussions about topics as a forum more than as a Discord server. So that's an interesting way of using Discord on its own. But you can also have like some specific channels that explain how the tool works, explain how things are supposed to be like running for the software. And I feel like that could be pretty cool. I think, from my point of view, to have, rather than like building a new website for the documentation, like maybe your docs could be inside of a server, like a community-based server things. The only downside that I see from this, someone doesn't want to use Discord and they want to still have access to the documentation. They will not have access to the documentation because it's not publicly open. You need to join the servers in order to get access to the documentations. That's a debatable point. I would say that from your point of view, would say that it needs to be available, like the documentation needs to be available outside for external use anyways. But yeah, I think you could have like something like a Discord server with a forum-based thing to do that. I think that would be good. And have the documentation as well on here, like both, but like something that would say, not download, sorry. I think something that would be docs, like basically that block is exactly what I'm talking about. You have your documentation, right, in whatever platform you use. So that would be your domain. And then at the end here, if you still have a question, join the Discord community for direct help by the dev, direct help by the power users, and so on. That could be an interesting thing. If you want to do that. maintaining a Discord server is, you know, it's not the hardest, but it's not the easiest either if you want something that is like active. Nonetheless, just having that at the end of your documentation could be a really good thing. Just like, oh yeah, join the Discord if you have specific questions. That is not like really answered in the docs. Nonetheless, details. So I feel like this is pretty good of a structure. The layout, however, I'm debating. I do like it because it's responsive to an extent, but it is and pretty simply. So what do you mean? I mean, carousel with screenshots is an okay ID. It's not good, but it's not a bad ID. I think this is better. Like a very simple bento grid with like feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, and then sub-level features, like really quickly things. Then if you want like really much details, you can click on the card and that sends you to the docs. To me, that kind of makes sense. Sorry, I saw something. Borem ipsum, Borem ipsum, Dorem ipsum, Yarem ipsum, and then just bam. Just bam, nothing else. Just bam. No or just direct. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I feel like this is probably going to be the best option that you have right now to get something that works in no time. Because I don't know what you want to have as the content. Debatable. But we can use that as a base. I just need placements and replacements, but that's good enough thing. The thing that I have in mind right now is ClickUp. Mainly because of what they have here, which is pretty impressive. But you need like some tasks, you need some AI, you need some sprints, you need like some goal tracking things. And just by clicking on the elements, you would have like the preview of what it is. So this is basically a carousel with images, right? But user defined. And then you also have like these things which I wouldn't do. But it's an option. Like having illustration like this can be helpful in a way. But yeah, like all of these are really cool. You can reuse some of the components that you have on the landing page right now to do things. That radius is wrong. It's just 1 pixel. It's a matter of 2 or 1 pixel difference. That's crazy. That is killing me. Why am I seeing these things is the question that I have. Why are my eyes so good? Like, look at it. Damn, that's a massive 26. 26. Yeah, no. Hi, welcome on in. How are you? How's the day going? How was the weekend? Look at it. Yeah.
Bad, AOA, bad.
Like it should just be 18 around here. That would be good enough. Goddamn. What do you need in your setting page? I'm gonna say something that I said before, but if you need a setting page, you can go in the community file and just look for settings, and you will probably in the files and templates find like a page called user settings or dashboard settings or something that contains 90% of what you need to have. So maybe your user settings is basically what you need, and having that as a structure or as a structured layout would give you the ability to just go faster and say, well, I do like what they have here, or I do like what they have, I don't know, here, the Duolingo one, I do like it because it makes more sense for what I have. I don't, like basically something like this could help you just get unlocked in your current state of things. Maybe you do like this, and that's what you want to duplicate or recreate, like the GitHub version. But yeah, like something like this would be a way, at least from my point of view, to unlock your current tediousness of not finding things. I need to set up decentral auth for user creation. So user creates a key pair, then choose the email, optional password, login with either the key or their password. Can you use Work OS or Clerk? You know. I mean, I get it. Nonetheless, I get it. It's using external tools for other things. I understand. But maybe just Clerk would be pretty good to just give you like your first 10,000 monthly active users for free, which is, it might not be the thing that you achieve on your first month or your first year. It depends. I wish you can achieve that on your first year. But even if you achieve that in your first year, after that, it's just $25 a month, which I understand. It's more annoying, but maybe that would help. Yeah. I think this is Clerk servers. I mean, take a look at it. Nonetheless, like just take a look at it. I think they host everything. They have your custom domain if that's necessary. As far as I remember, you The database of users is hosted on their sides, and that's about it. So I would do that, but also I don't know. But yeah, the other one is WorkOS, which is another option for authentication and other things. However, it is more expensive, I think, for the whole thing overall. Yeah, so it's the same thing as Stonies, which is not true. Similar. I get it. I mean, I get it. I don't get it, but I get it. Sorry, my internet connection is kind of bad. 1 million free users. That's pretty interesting. That is a nice cube. Yes, we agree. You have recovery phrases. That looks like a yeah, a blockchain stuff. Yeah. I have questions. Lots of it. You have something that is stated payment and licenses at the top that I can see. If the thing is self-hosted, what's stopping someone to download, install, cut connection, and then that's it? They have access to the whole thing, maybe without the updates, but still having, like, the tools. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I kind of understand. I don't really understand, but I kind of understand. What it is, at least to an extent. But yeah, you either have the signing or the creation of an account or the recovery. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably because they don't understand. Don't worry about it. And so, go back to your message. What do you need specifically in that department? Like, you need the settings section, which is this, to get the login information on the account. Like, basically that section of going to account and signing in or creating an account from the setting option to basically get access to the rest of their content. I do like what you have here, to be honest. It kind of works. Like, it works together. Everything is kind of there. The only thing that is all over the place for me is the blue. I don't know how and why there is blue in here, but it works. So yeah, I don't know. Like I don't think your UI is all over the place. I think you have things in the right order. You have to sign in with email and password or recovery phrase if the person has lost things. And if they create an account, it will create a recovery phrase with the content, email and password, and then you're good. I think you're good. I mean, if that's specifically what you want to redesign or improve, I think that would be mostly something that is like yeah. Question though, I just saw that. Is this real? I just pay attention. Is this real? Like you want the human randomness of moving the mouse around to generate the seed phrase? That feels weird. Specifically, if it's not random and it's random by, I mean, randomized by mouse movement specifically, that means that it is reproducible. And I don't like that. Like I would have the ability to program a robot arm to do the exact same pattern 16 times to get the randomness, and that means I would have the ability to generate the same seed phrase twice. I see. Well, it's fun though. Not gonna lie, this is fun. Doesn't change. Like that's like if I'm just doing the exact same pattern and I know that I'm like close to with a robot arm or something that is like programmed, I would have the ability to get like the exact same locations and things. If it's also based on local times, then it changes everything. But you know, details. But that's cool. Again, going back to what I said earlier, I don't think you need to change anything. I think it's pretty good. I think it works. I think it's pretty good, and the design works with the rest of the app. I'm just unsure about like payments and offlines and stuff. I mean, I get it, but yeah, I'm fighting the same thing on my side. Like Can has the same issues on my end where it is offline, and so basically what happens is I'm really sad about it because it happened, but you can buy something in the app and then request a refund from Apple. And because Apple doesn't really pay attention to whatever they are saying, the refund is automatically like proceeded, like the thing happens. But because the person has bought something in the app and the app simply state, oh, that has been bought, and then it's flagged as accessible, and that's it. So if you refund yourself, you still have access to the thing because the flag is on your device and it's not like linked to the cloud. So I'm getting refunded of things that people bought that are not like subscription, and that's bad. I'm losing money. But you know, I'm fixing that right now. So yeah, the thing with the payments, I details, but it's good. This is good. This is a nice start. I think it's pretty good. Um, so this is a no. This is a yes for me. This is a no for me. But right? Um, yes, but it's also like, oh, my children bought the thing. It's one of the first options in the refund policies. And if you say that it's a child that has bought something, it means it will happen again. And that is one of the options that is like not really checked. Um, so yeah, that's kind of sad. The main issue that I have is that I have like a high ticket value item at like $200 that unlock the entirety of the app forever. So you can buy it, refund yourself, you have the flag, and then you're good. And you basically didn't board the app but have access to the entirety of the content, which happened. So now I'm trying to get a system that check with Apple directly to see if the transaction has been refunded. If it's not, we good. If it has, it remove the flags, and yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. But it's kind of annoying, specifically because that person officially doesn't have access to the Apple ID, so that's weird. Um, but to check. Like, I don't know if it will be retroactive. We'll see. I'm still working on that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. This is a different thing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is not the Jedi you're looking for. No. Anyways. So yeah, potentially if you really want to look for something, look for that. That could work. Can it?
Kanawa Nagasaki raided my stream with 7 viewers.
Welcome on in. Thanks a lot for the raid. How are you? How was your stream? All of that. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Aoy. I'm the helping designer. If you have any design question, feel free to ask. Mr. Smooth, hi, welcome on in. We are trying to... We've done a massive review stream in the beginning, and now we're trying to do like a landing page, and I hate it because I hate landing pages, but it happens. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Did you follow? No, you didn't follow. You did follow. You didn't follow. That my bad. I thought the follow went through. That. Your text covering little bit of your face cam. Yes, this is the point. This is the point. If you look closely, the H is exactly just above the H on the side. The R, the F, and the K for you right now. Just everything's aligned. Everyone go. Design. Design stuff, So yeah, and that's basically what I would do. Like, either go in here if you are not convinced by what you have, or I think you're good. I mean, personally, I think you. I think it's good. I think it's good. You should be fine.
MR Smooth 320 is now following.
Thanks a lot for the follow. Twice. Number 2. I appreciate it. Let's drop that here so that we have access to the right values. Let's change our fonts. It's using Satoshi. We are using Enter for everything, so let's use Enter here as well. And hope for the best. Yeah, I mean, again, the design you have is pretty good. I don't think you need like much more than that. So I'd be good with it. Personally speaking. Personally speaking, I think you're good. You just put that back here, close it, go there. So features, essential apps, transparency, yes, testimonials, yes, Discord, debatable, but I don't think you need it just yet. Product and news, not necessary. The footer, probably not necessary just there. But for now, we're going to keep it because it's going to be useful later. This is the components that we need, which we will replace with our components. And that should be fine. So, you know, that's the thing. The logo is going to be replaced by the logo. So that's, again, makes sense. And I'm not going to do content. I'm going to do layouts solely for this because it's going to make more sense. The structure is not going to be like a good system just yet. So we'll see. These are softer shadows for sure. Yes. That's much better. Good job. Congrats. This is really good. This is really good. And also the slight grow, like it's so subtle, but it still shows you that it's raised to you. I like it a lot. Good job. Good job on that. Yeah, no, that's good. I was about to say I don't know about this one being recessed. But you know. It's fine. I like it. I like the change. It's really good. You did good. Did you also change this one? You did it. So your text still has a 45. Your text highlight at the bottom is still a 45. Again, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I'm saying that this is a bad thing. It's mostly like if you have this and your text is the same color as like your background, like right here. I mean, for you, it's a tad bit darker, but it's not visible enough. Like it's gonna be around here, right? So it's not a visible hello. And so what you want to do is add an effect, which you made like a white at 1, and then basically highlight the thing. What I would highly recommend you to do is make it 0 in Y, so that it's basically in the background and it doesn't bother much, or at least it doesn't bother. Yeah, it doesn't bother much in the readability. But the most important thing is like it's not like distracting. The other option, and that is a bit more complicated to do, I know, is that you just you know, add one of these. So if there's a white outline or white background, no issues. And then if not, then it's readable. I know it's a pain in CSS. Forget about it. Also, I'm kind of joking. It's really bad, so don't do that. The stroke, um, the stroke effect that we have is you put a shadow and then you put an effect on it that has high contrast. So it basically creates the outline. So yeah. Nonetheless, it's good. Yet don't SVG the text. No. Don't do that. Please. Please no. Please. Please don't. But that's good. That doesn't change much. It's really good. The highlight is okay. It works. Like nothing to say about it. It's nice. It's working. It does what it's supposed to do. So yeah. It why am I like this? I said nothing. You said nothing. You heard nothing. Nothing happened. No, I think it's nice. I think it's nice. I'm joking about the drop shadow, the light drop shadow, but I think it works. It does the job that it's supposed to do, and the only reason why it's here, at least from my point of view, is because of this bitch ass umbrella right there. If it wasn't there, you wouldn't have the need for it. So, debatable. And then you made them responsive, which is good. Which is good. Yeah, the ocean is also a bit darker, but nah. That's pretty neat. It's a bit broken here. Like you need a I don't know, not a lot of people have that phone, but you might need to. I see. I feel like you break too fast. Specifically here, the change in between on the right side, the change between seeing the background and seeing the background, to me seems a bit fast. Like again, you have the space, right? Here, you still have the space. If you reduce the logo as you did, you still have the space to display this, this, this. And then these two are a bit big. I do agree with that. But they're still, like, you still have enough space. I think around here, you don't have enough space. And that's more of a tablet, like, portrait mode for the width. Like there, yeah, 100%. But I feel like you're breaking a tad too early. Like you have potentials to reduce the font size, reduce the spacing before it breaks. So if I'm doing this as an example, which I don't think Figma likes it, like if I do that and then there. Right? This is the minimal that you would say would fit in this whole bar. But if I'm on mobile, maybe this can be a smaller version. So let's say it only has like the mobile option, which is like this, this, that. Being that now I have the ability to do this, which is like smaller already. These, instead of having 15, they could have 8. They could have all of them, instead of having 10, 10, they could have like, I don't know, 8 or 6 or 4 or something. And then that again implies that I can go up to here, which is like lower. That button is massive. It's a 46 for like a mobile. It's pretty good. Something like 32 could be an option. But you can see how if I just keep the same sizes, my initial take would have been I break at 735, basically. But simply by changing the spacing in between my elements and the logo sizes, which you already do, I'm getting something that is basically saving me or giving me the ability to get 200 pixels worth of width with still quick access to all of the navigation. So I would do that. For you specifically, based on the fact that these two are massive, could differ a bit, but I do think that here you're still able to fit everything in. Okay, personal take. But yeah, it's pretty good. Nonetheless, it doesn't change the fact that you did a good job. You did good. You did really good in implementing everything, and the content's nice. The subset of things is neat. The teeny tiny highlight at the bottom is neat. So yeah, also they will be gone in a month. So yes, that is true. I forgot about that. I forgot. I think I looked at something earlier that was kind of different, but it's not there. It's not there. That games I've played thing. Ah, 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 ah. It's still 45. I'm kidding. The only thing that I would say on this view specifically is the spacing you have top and bottom and side to side. You basically have triple the amount of space here compared to here. So I would personally bump this one to double. So you are currently at what seems to be 16 and 32 at the top. So I would just make like 24 or 32 on the side to make sure that you have something that looks more unified. The right side doesn't really matter because the text is rarely gonna reach that point. Specifically, like the only one that could would be this one, but that's not much. So yeah, I wouldn't really pay attention. Oh, that's gonna break stuff. Hmm. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Just a bit more. Unification, you know. You know. It's not much. Yeah, all transparency is going, but gone. But I don't know. It's still there though. Uh, I think it's mostly because I removed something that wasn't supposed to be removed, and I probably did that on here when I could just have like some padding. Oh, it's just one. It's not the entire thing. Sorry. It's not a component. You're not using a component. God damn it. That's just the designer thinking. Oh, god damn. Um, 16:9 is debatable and it's not necessary. Um, like if it works like this, which I think is better, like this is more for a 2:1 aspect ratio type of thing, or at least from what I can see, it seems to. And if that's what Steam is giving you, then you good. You good. Yeah, I would just have like that thing get. Oh, oh, the glass moved away when I opened something, but I didn't do anything. Like basically having the selection and highlighting this broke the glass. Right there. What happened? That's crazy. Displaying the gap. Like displaying the gap is breaking the view. That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. Anyways, back to regular programming. But yeah, that is interesting. That's a weird thing to happen. I mean, I'm good. I'm using Arc, so I have that. I'm fine with it. I'm sure if I'm using like if I was using something like Firefox, I might have some issues. But you know, oh shit. Ah, yeah, no shit. No, I'm not doing that. Yes, it is taking a lot of processing power in the background. I noticed that when I was in the art contest. This view makes the fan of my computer go up. Denny, hi. Welcome. We're doing good. We had something for you earlier today. Let me go fetch it in a second. So yeah, this is pushing my fan a tad, just a tad, but yeah, it is 100% design related. It's a footer. Someone made something that was really nice, and I thought, oh, that's a Denny thing, isn't it? Isn't it a Denny thing right there? I feel like it would. I feel like it probably would. It has a lot of subtle details, where basically the font itself has a gradient, like it has a very simple gradient from white to white transparent. And then on top of that, there is a blur on the secondary element for sure. And then there is a gradient blur on top. And then there is the grain to get like that texture on top of the entire transparency element. So it is pretty interesting how they have achieved it. But yeah, it's nice. We like it. We did an hour and 40 minutes. I mean, a bit less than that, but roughly an hour and 40 minutes going through what I liked on Twitter this weekend at the beginning of the stream. Like almost 2 hours of the stream have been like just reviews of content that have popped up since last stream. But yeah, it's still not as good as this though. That gradient, that gradient blur that we have on iOS is not like a really good thing to do in Figma, which is sad, nonetheless. So yeah, kind of for the navigation bar, I would revamp the spacing when it's resizing to ensure that you have most of the thing in there. That would make more sense to me. And potentially your buttons as well, like your other side button could, like your login buttons could be retracted, changed, something else. But you know, are you still? Last week you said that you were flying at a specific date, and I didn't read that. What did you say? Like next week, excludes the delay. That's what happened. Yes, that is. Thursday morning at 10. Congrats. So Thursday morning at 10, you arrived there at 17, right? Yep. almost right. 16. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Don't sleep. Like really do it as a long day. That would be my best recommendation. If you can do that, one straight. I mean, technically, not. But yeah. Yeah, you need to do that. You need to do that. You need to go through and then don't sleep. Like that's my main recommendation. Just don't sleep. Don't sleep the whole flight. Land. Don't sleep. Eat. Don't sleep. And then fall dead at like 20, like 8:30 or 9. And then you'd be good for forever. Like after that, you're just fresh the next day. Like you'll sleep 8 hours roughly, and the next day you're like waking up at 6:30 usually. After a long time, like a long flight, I usually wake up early just because I'm kind of fucked up. But yeah, do that. Don't sleep in the flight. Don't sleep when you land. Sleep after. Yeah. I mean, Estonia, it's not really 2 hours earlier. It's gonna be 5 hours past his usual sleep time. So, yeah. That's the thing, because of time zones, you know, like basically landing right now in like 30 minutes from now. So if you go 2 hours past this, it's not even the time. So it's going to be like more further down. But yeah, like that's the thing. That's the best recommendation that I have. Sleep when you land after food. Like basically land and attempt as much as you can to fight your urge to sleep and just do the thing. Like it's gonna help you so much at the end of the day to, or the next day technically, to just be fresh and be able to do the thing that you need to do. Otherwise, you know, then yeah. Also, Victor on YouTube, I don't know, I just saw your message. I'm sorry about that. I don't think you're still watching. um, and you said that you need a small design and you want me to accept your friend request in Discord. That's not how it happens. If you need something specific, just tell me what it is. You can join the Discord directly to post something in the design help, and that would be good. And if you posted it on Discord, which one of the Discord did you post in? Because if you're not in this one, please join this one, and then design help around. God damn it, wrong key. Around here, this is gonna be where things happen. If you need like specific YouTuber related chats, it's gonna be around there. But if you need design help, it's gonna be on my side. You said you posted it on Figma. That's there, I guess. That's the one. That's a bit of a different thing. You just want to achieve this as a base, which that's just the thing. That's you have two options. You can create one, or you can find it. Meaning, on the community in Figma, you would have the ability to search for dashboard. And in dashboard, there is for sure someone that has like a chart that does exactly that, like this. That's the first thing. The second thing, if you want to create it yourself, because that's pretty simple to do, the way that it's made is this. You take the pen tool, you create points where you need them to be, and then you ensure that you create a shape that is basically the whole thing. From there, you use the V tool with, at this point, holding the command key or the control key to click on that point and that point. That will give you your curve. And you're done. This thing now takes an inside element. Let's take it red, usual. And it's going to take a gradient from red to red at 0% right here. So that you have like your thing. And that gradient is going to be 40%, 20%, depending on how much visible you want it to be. You then duplicate that shape on top. So Command D on top of it. Remove these points at the bottom. And then ensure that instead of getting a fill, this is getting a stroke. That stroke is going to be a bit bigger. And then these two are going to be together in a frame. So Command option G, to create a frame out of nowhere. And that overall is going to have a background. That background for your example is black, clipping with some corner radius. And ta-da! Based on that image, that's pretty. It's pretty much what you wanted. If you need, on top of it, the gradient that goes on the side, which seems to be something that was in your initial design, uh, it is nothing. You get like another rectangle around here. This one is going to be black, and it's going to take a gradient from black to black at 0% with a rotation. And that's about it. What do you mean it gets thinner? Like, what do you mean by thinner? That's going to be my question. From what I'm seeing right now, also, it feels like the gradient is more or less something that is a bit different. Let me do it a tad differently as an option. That could help. So um, instead of that, instead of having the inner here and the gradient there, I'm just gonna use that at 40% or probably like 20% or 30%. And then from what I can tell on the other side, your gradient here and at the bottom is or seems to be an inner shadow rather than something else. Non-driver, hi, walk on it. Which would be, let's do that in pure blue so that it's just going to be extremely visible for now. And it is something that seems to be, I would say, somewhere around like minus 80 at the bottom and minus 80 or yeah, minus 80 on the x-axis as well, with a lot of blur. So something like this, but using black instead of blue, based on, again, that the way that it's represented, it's really, really sharp when I'm looking at it here, zoomed in. So because it's like so flat and so flat, it seems that there is no gradient in between the two. So using that with pure black will give you something similar, and getting like a bit more blur or potentially like something like a bit more spread inside would be applied on top of your content, and that could be easier to manage. But yeah, also second thing that I'm thinking about right now, because I didn't think about it before. If you don't want to have this element being two lines, you can remove it and add the stroke here in red. Let me go back in hex because it's going to be easier. Put it like six points and make this element wider and a bit taller. It's outside of the bounds of your element, and it's still going to be there if you want to resize. I said what? Resize. It's going to kind of work and still be good. So that could be the option, as well as the first one. Like, both option works. This is a bit more complex because you have like three moving parts: the lines, the inner, and the side gradient. But it's more natural, and this one is a bit more practical. You can also combine the fill to be as well like a gradient inside. Like, combination of both would probably give you something that is okay. But yeah, I mean, personally, I like this much more than this, but that's it's a personal take. And yeah, once you have this with like just one outline, you will have the ability to just change the value if you need it to be bigger or wider or whatever. And that's option A with one single stroke in the center. Other thing, which is much better here, based on that element, is that you could have an highlight point in your overall line, wherever you need it to be. But that's debatable. um, if you want that, without really going into precise measurement of where it needs to be and so on, you could go in, like you press enter to go into the edit mode of that specific curve. And let's say I need like a point around here. So I'm gonna add a point right there. I'm gonna add a point right here. And then I'm gonna remove that segment in the center. And make sure that this endpoint has a dot. And that way now I have like a connection dot right there that is just here is the marker that I need to have. In order to make it bigger, you just make the line bigger. And you have your point. This also works in a way because it matches with the same line color. So that's why I like it. But you know, it's not necessary. It's an option. Just to have it along the line rather than having to think about it too much. It works. But yeah, that's an option. I would say based on the look of it, there is like a ton of things that would be better. But that's gonna be easier. Chart supply is an option as well. I don't know if Joshua has that. He doesn't. Goddamn. He does have chart modifier, which is an option as well, but it's not like it's a paid plugin. So I like it. Obviously, Joshua is doing a ton of work that I like, but God damn it. Well, the cool info, they need to answer your question. The cool info are coming in the day of the flight, and the previous information is already what you have, technically. So, yeah. Placing the circle on top is good. It's just that right now, with this system, your line will always be good, and your point will always be on it, rather than having to replace it if you resize your fucking thing at some point. That's the only reason. But if you wanted to have like a line charts and you know, like just having data and fake data and stuff, that's an option. It's a pretty good option. So if you're into that, Victor, do this. Highly recommend it. That's not really an option, sadly. Kinda, I know you're half joking, but you can't really have like an on-hover situation other than potentially like creating a component that is reused across the entire page. Like if I create like a component with that and then have on-hover of this point, I have another version. On-hover of this point, I have another version. And that's just a mess. But it's an option. But it's a mess. But it's an option. But I hate it. But it's an option. And but yeah, not nonetheless, like this is gonna be the thing. So yeah, if you really want something, Victor, if you really want something that is a chart, just look for charts on the Figma community tab. You will have every single chart possible with every single design options. And you can have pre-made ones just for the sake of having like, you know, something that is working, or just use a widget that creates charts for you without you having to think about it much. This is some of the best option. Like, again, there is a ton of widgets widgets plugins, my bad, to create charts, including, I think, one of the one that I used before. I don't have it now. I have beautiful charts in my head, but that's not the one that I have thought about. But yeah, like chart BG seems to be something that you're looking for right now. And yeah, like that might be exactly what you needed in the first place. So just like a teeny tiny search would be an option. Lone Traveler, if you're looking for pie charts, I saw that in the boot camp on Patreon. If you take like a circle, you just create a circle, you have your circles, you have that little point right there. If you done, you have your pie charts. Nothing to do. No time. And specifically because it's really good, you know that you need your pie charts with that section specifically to be exactly at 32%. You can just do that. That's the good thing. And then you know that your second one is supposed to take like from 32% to, I don't know. It's 32% as well, but it's like a start at 32. God damn it, wrong thing. Right there. You did donuts actually? Yeah. But yeah. I mean, you can test, which is, I mean, you should test me, please, please. Why, Stony? What happened? You know. This is still a bit more manual than I like them to be, but they. Ta-da! No time. Charts. Done. The only thing that I wish I could do, which is something that we used to be able to do in Sketch, and technically this is how we used to do charts. In the past, we had just a circle, and you do the circle, and then you make sure that this thing has a stroke instead of being like a field, and it uses dashes. And your dash, you make them as big as you need them to be. And we used to have the ability to say dash, comma, 200, comma, 4, comma, 200, whatever. And you would have the amount of space you want. In Figma, you are left to, or with, only having the ability to say 4 values, like, or 3 values, or whatever amount of values you need to have, and they are static, and you can't really change that. That's all it can be, and it can't be anything else, which is really sad. But in Sketch, we had the ability to say first segment is X amount of length, second segment is X amount of length. And at the time that I was using it, we used to have the ability to do percentage. And so with that, we just had percentage basically inside of these to ensure that it was an option. But yeah, that's the way as well that we used to do that. It's not the case anymore. It's different. It's different. But yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing. Still good though. Still good. I would rather have the Sketch border than the Figma border, to be honest. Figma is really bad at borders. I hate it. For many reasons. Yeah. You're gonna laugh because that's basically what happened. Let me see if I have that. So I'm working on this thing for Friday, and in the presentation, you know, because I need to. But yeah, that's. It's a thing about onboarding, obviously, and the fact that the onboarding in that company doesn't really have, I think, working together with different teams. And so I'm like, this is our onboarding data. And yeah. I don't know if I'm going to leave it for Friday. I wish I could, but I haven't been with that specific client for long enough to be able to check if they are like willing to receive that just yet. Later on, maybe, but right now, probably not. I might just do it in a off slide something. I don't know. Nonetheless, details. So yeah. Victor, if that's good for you, that's good for me. But don't hesitate to join the Discord. Again, rather than, sending it here, I don't really have quick access to direct things. And no. But yeah, if you join the Discord, you can have like quicker access to potential, which is appreciated. Thank you. And so if you have a question and you just want me to answer and I'm not live, that's going to be around here, which is pretty cool. Really cool. Again, also, if you're on YouTube and you prefer YouTube, that's fine. What? Twitch is better for links and things, you know. Details. We like this. So yeah. I wouldn't say that. But you know, I wouldn't not say that either. All right, so you bitch right there. I don't know. I don't know. I need to spend a bit more time in the thinking. Um, I I don't know exactly what would be in there. I just know for a fact that this structure is good. Um, yeah, it's the wrong key again. I don't know why earlier it moved me as well to the same scene for no reason. That that it's weird. Anyways, that's fine. I know that this is good in terms of layout, in terms of structure, like app information. Again, this is where is my star guides? What's this bitch? Sorry. It's not there. Here. These are. Have a good rest of your night, Benny. You could get used to not sleep and stay there. But you know, I get it. I get it. Take care of yourself. As always, I think something like this is, I mean, it's basically the same thing that we have done last time, and the first time to check. These headers and options would be good. This is the current option that we have in here. Like that's basically the thing. Recommended patterns. The other one that we have as an option, which I like, is this, which is the one that we currently have in the system with a bit more fun to it, like something similar to this one. But we can do whatever we want with the presentation and how it works. This one, which is something that we kind of have displayed last time. I like it because it has this one container at the top with the initial like value props and all of that, rather than having things in a regular value, like in a regular way or in a regular display. So that would hint that things are going to be boxed, which I mean, it's basically the same thing as this, but you know, a bit better. So that's debatable. And then the other option that we have is a reverse, but that's not going to work for you specifically. It's not something that you would do anyways. But yeah. And I don't think having a video would be a good idea. Oh, God damn, I'm tired. Shit. So that's debatable. That's something that we can check for later. But I mean, to me, I would go with something like this, probably in dark mode rather than light, right? With a bit of a fade at the bottom, or one of these to continue with the same practice, the same system. But yeah. Say that again in a way that makes sense. Can we not play with showing different pages like the actual app? Yes, we should. I mean, we could, but for me, there wouldn't be different pages. I mean, I think if we want to have something that looks really much like the app rather than something else, I could potentially recommend the not logged in version right there, like something like this, which has your content in that container, and you scroll in that container, and then the pages names at the top would be like hangers that scroll inside of that singular block. If that's something that works for you, that would work for me as well, because that would match the rest of the existing thing. It would mean that the landing page and the app have the same structure. Or if you want to do this, and these are your anchors across the view, feels kind of weird because you need the top section and you need the side section to make sense of the navigation system. So I would rather not have the navigation on the side and just have the content like I just said, like ensuring that most of my or all of the page is structured inside of this. So to me, you would have this right about there with no content inside, and then this would be, or the content that would be there would be displayed inside of that container. So it's somewhere around here, and it just scrolls in. That makes sense. As these. Basically, blog doesn't exist, and pricing I don't think exists. So maybe, nonetheless, it doesn't really matter in the fact that right this instant, I don't know exactly what needs to go there. So I would need to take a bit more time to think about it rather than, doing it on a whim. And yeah, you should probably have some pricing from the get-go, that's for sure. That is for sure. I don't think so. I don't think we can. I don't think we can. I'm sorry. um. Oh. Yes and no. I'm not against it too much. I mean, I am, but not too much. I think it's a good idea to have like the content of the app and the representation of the app like a bit already made and showcased. The thing that I would not like about a landing page that shows me an app would be, what would happen is you log in, you open the website, you arrive on the app interface for the landing page, and you have like home, libraries, whatever you want at the top. And then you would have in libraries a curated collection of anime. You can click on anime and you would have the same content that you would have in the app because you already have the content, so that makes sense. But you would lose the person that is currently watching the website when they tried to access more information, and they can't because they can't watch the thing. They can watch the trailer, but they would expect something as login to add your content or something, and that would be like a difference in between the two. I would have the detail page for sure. Oh, I wouldn't have a slideshow now. No, I would have the app again. I said that before, but my initial goal for this was to get the app in a web format in Framer to give you access to the hiragana and katakana, because that is the easiest thing to put in place. It doesn't take too much resources, and I can just use it and have it, and you can play with it in here. That's my initial goal. But it turned out that it was too processor heavy to have that component work. And so I had to revert to just a fucking image right here. But yeah, for me, I would have the app. If it was just me, I would have just the full app work there. And if you go on can.app, you just have access to the app, not the description of what the app is. Like you just have access to it. Not the full app, but like the full UI of the app. That's what I'm saying. Like you would just have access to the homepage with the search, curated selection of anime, movies, things, and just basically your homepage already. And then the ability to go into libraries, which would be like fake libraries, but still libraries, and music with fake music, but still music, and things that are pulled from the MovieDB and from other API that you have to have the content. And that would basically showcase how things would be and how things would work for that person that is currently looking at the website. So basically when they click login, it's just same app, the same thing, the same interface that they are already used to because they have been in there. That makes sense. But yeah, a bit more complicated. Nonetheless, to be checked. I need more concept on this. I need more information, more stuff before I can move on. So we will see. I don't think this one is gonna do something, but we never know. Yeah, I'm gonna send you somewhere. That is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you somewhere, and yeah. They show their app and content, but they don't show something that seems good to me. So again, that is why I'm saying I need like a bit more stuff, a bit more research in order to make sure that it makes sense, Anyways, I am sending you there unless you decide to end stream, but we'll see. As always, thanks a lot for being here. I highly appreciate it. If you want to watch the VOD for some reason, it's going to be on YouTube, specifically for the beginning of the stream, which is pretty interesting. And then if you have questions and I'm not live, join the Discord. It's pretty good. You can stalk me on social. I shall be back on Wednesday, unless I'm dead. We'll see. And yeah, join the Patreon if you have something for Wednesday's stuff. And then yeah, buy can, use can, buy UI kit, use a UI kit, the usual thing. Going back to 420 when I stopped waking up at 5:30 in the morning. Because I need 8 hours, and right now that's not going to be 8 hours. So, yeah. Bad stuff. Bad stuff. Still doing a good job on winning. That's a big ass winning. And yeah, I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Eat something, drink something. Be kind to each other. I'll see you soon. Bye.